8:34 a.m. Good morning on this 25th day of June 2014. I'm Sophia Wanuna. We're glad you're watching Morning Express. We want to get into our final discussion this morning, and we're all about girl-child empowerment. And joining me in studio is three lovely ladies. Evelyn Ogendo, who's founder of Rudi Usome organization. We also have Nazi Kibwana, who is the First Lady of Makueni County, as well as Girl Child Advocacy Group. And we have Adelina Ndeto, who's Deputy Governor Makueni, and also a part of the Girl Child Advocacy Group. We thank you all for joining us this morning. And let's begin with you, Evelyn, and talking to us about Rudi Usome. What is that about, and what led you to start the organization?
Well, first maybe I'll deal with what the organization deals with. Basically, I reclaim back the young girls who get pregnant in school and they don't continue with their schooling because of the babies. And basically right now, what made me come up with that issue, it's because when I went to do my research on the grassroots, I found out that if 40 students were in Form 1, by the time they're Form 4, they have half the class. And then I sought to get to the root cause, and then I realized most of these girls are not continuing with their education. Most of them, they didn't have the basic Form 4 education. So basically that's what we deal with. That's what I'm dealing with. I've been doing it for the last 4 years. It has borne so many fruits, and I would wish to go on. So
where is this that you conducted the study and found that half of those who began perhaps in secondary school were not finishing because of early pregnancies?
Well, right now I'm piloting in Kisii County and Nyamira County, but my initiative is to get other people who support my like mind to spread out all through the other counties to see that we reclaim this girl back to continue the education.
So which county specifically first made you realize there's a problem?
Kisii County, where I come from.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And how did you get involved, Madam First Lady of Makueni County?
Well, I got involved because I'm the First Lady of Makueni, and I looked at the plight of girls in school, especially from standard 6 to standard 8, and realized that there is a gap there. There is a need, and once I identified the need, I also was called upon by my Deputy Governor, Madam Adelina Ndeto, and she interested me into this initiative, which she had thought about also. And also, as I participated in the Beyond Zero campaign with our national First Lady, we were challenged that we should look for something to do in order to help our girls and mothers in our counties. And this is my response. This is the response of the county. And I know from childhood myself that there is a gap, because I myself also went through hard time when I was in school getting sanitary towel.
Okay, so talk to us about the situation, Madam Deputy Governor, in Makueni County in particular. What is it you're grappling with there?
We are actually grappling with keeping the girl child in school.
Why?
Because for very vulnerable families, a girl child misses out about 4 days a month or 5 days a month because she cannot afford to actually have sanitary towels. Most of them actually wear odd rags, and also they are afraid of even going to answer questions because they do not know what will happen if they stand up. So, and we know a lot of dropouts because of actually not having sanitary towels. So it is for this reason, and as the First Lady is saying, I went through the issue of actually having to look for sanitary towels, but at the same time not understanding what I am going through. So the girl child really not understanding what she's going through. She lacks confidence. No one is talking to her, the mother, the teachers. So it is for this reason that we felt to actually keep our girls in school and end this period of shame. Give our girls confidence and try to see whether we can educate the parents, the teachers, to actually make sure that this is a human right. It's a girl's human right to actually be provided with sanitary towels. We talk of reproductive rights, but the girl child lacks on, most girl child lacks on these very, very fundamental rights.
So that is the basic challenge you would say, in as far as the girl child is concerned in Makueni County. Have you experienced that as well in other counties? For you, I realize your focus then is on the early pregnancies, but is there a challenge also and an issue when it comes to availability or accessibility of sanitary towels to the school-going girls?
Yeah, there's a very big problem, which is apparently, as some of the first ladies, they're doing it, but that problem is very apparent in Kisii County too, because even other girls, they go without underpants, which people don't address, and even the boys. And I think it's a relevant thing that they're doing, and it's an initiative that should get support and be taken up, because, you know, sometimes small things bring very big differences. What they're doing is very initial and very nice. According to me, I support it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to see what they're doing, and I'm going to gimmick and copy it for Kisii County, because apparently Kisii County, I don't think there's somebody who's doing it.
All right.
There's nobody who's doing the sanitary thing. I don't know. But I have got to sell this idea, which is really workable, because that is from the initial stages of class 6. You can imagine every month these girls are not going back to school. I should think it's a very positive thing. That's a common problem, even in Kisii County, as I do it for the young mothers. That's where the problem starts from. That's why they miss the pads from and get pregnant. That's why they miss the pads and get sick.
Okay.
Yeah.
What factors, going back to Rudi, usome and the initiative you're carrying out in as far as just getting the early pregnancy, the girls to go back to school, what are the factors that lead them to these early pregnancies in the first place? What plays into that?
Well, it's just lack of information. They need a lot of sensitizing. And down there, when you go down there, the way they look at things, the culture, because there's no openness beginning with the parents. They openly don't speak about, they don't speak to their girls about how they grow up from when they are toddlers to puberty to other stages in life. They continue looking at their children the same way. So there's that lack of information, and they say it's, I would say it's not right for them to talk about sex and sexual issues. So that blind cover, that curtain that they have put on the sex and sex issues, it is really what is affecting the girl child. Lack of information, poverty, and even the parents. I realized some parents are selling out their girls to the men they think they are rich, for them to vend. So poverty is in there, and then they are not willing to diversify their thinking and get some activities that maybe can make them vent for their family. Yeah.
And Madam Kibwana, how is it you're going about getting these sanitary towels for the girls? Because it is, as you mentioned, Deputy Governor, is unfortunate. It should be a basic human right for these girls to be able to have access to this. How is it you're hoping even to come up with a permanent solution so that it's not a vicious cycle we see occurring not only in Makueni, we've also heard about the same happening in different counties?
We are very, very lucky to have a governor who understands the girl child. And to begin with, he has given us 3 million to begin with, but that's very little. We also have some funding from the national government. They always have put it in the budget, but it's very little, even though this year I understand they have added a little. Still it's not enough. We started our initiative by holding dinners, and we held a fundraising dinner in Wote, which is our capital of Makueni, and we held another one here in Nairobi at Pan-Afric, mainly to sensitize people about the initiative, but most importantly also to create a lot of awareness so that people can come with us and run with us. We held also psychoeducation in the sub-counties, 6 of them. We trained about 300, one of the 120 being teachers and 180 being parents. And for us, we realized that once you have trained once people know what they are doing, they know the importance, their parents know why they should give their children sanitary towels, that is, we have started the journey. Because they will, when they are purchasing some sukuma, they will leave a little for their children. So that is a starting point. But we are not stopping there. With the dinners, we are creating awareness. We also have a project of putting cartons, big, huge cartons in supermarkets. And we are going to start with Makueni. All the supermarkets in Makueni, we are going to put boxes so that when they do their purchases, they can also put a little for the girl child. We are also going to put cash boxes in our financial institutions so that when they have gone to withdraw 1,000, they can leave 50 shillings for the girl child.
All right. So, Deputy Governor, one of the biggest issues there arising is awareness. The fact that most households don't have an understanding, perhaps even for the men, that there's this thing that happens to girls every other month, and that this and this is needed. Is that a real issue on the ground?
It's a real issue. There are a lot of myths surrounding menstruation. And even I know there were times when girls were hidden when they are in their menstrual period, and they are dirty. They can't, even in some cultures, they can't cook when they are in a menstrual period. So we're trying to demystify this, because if you are called dirty, you feel dirty. You don't have confidence. So as we discuss with parents, with teachers, and as the First Lady has said, our dinners were the beginning. In fact, we got key people from Makueni, and we talked about the issue. We had done clips of girls talking about what they go through, and those clips were shown in the dinners. And I started seeing older men, younger men, starting to really get to see the issue as it is. So we shouldn't feel that we are dirty. We should, and that understanding, demystifying that myth, and empowering men to see it's important for them as they do shopping, to actually do buy sanitary towels. The First Lady also mentioned some initiatives. We also are asking Makueni people, particularly if you went to a certain school, and we're asking all Kenyans, by the way, if you went to a certain school, can you adapt that school and make sure that it's only about 3,000 shillings per month to actually buy sanitary towels? So people are committing themselves to adapting schools, both men and women in Makueni. So we are trying to actually come up with initiatives that are sustainable, and awareness is the most sustainable sustainable strategy to actually maintain this.
Before I come back to you, Evelyn, Madam Kibwana, in as far as what these girls get to go through, because so sad that you go on with your life for 20 plus days in the month, and then it's all disrupted, and it's a period of shame. It's a period where it's discomfort, and everybody else is still going on with their lives. What is it they go through, being able to interact with them, that you get to hear from the girls?
Oh, the girls themselves said it all, because we went round and we collected their voice. We heard them speak, and we documented that. We have some documentary, and it's real painful when they say what they go through. Some of them say during that time they have to just sit in class. They cannot stand up and participate, like writing on the blackboard or even answer questions. They keep on just sitting there because they are scared of being laughed at. And some of them miss school altogether because it's so painful. You and me know that during that time there is a lot of pain, backache, stomach ache, dizziness, So, and because at home also they might be scared of telling their parents what they're going through. They don't get to be assisted. So they struggle with that pain, and therefore they miss school because the pain is too much. And some of the things that also they go through is like being laughed at by the boys. Not because it's because they don't understand what is going on. And psychologically they get a little destabilized because they realize, what is this that is happening? I mean, am I sick? Some of them even go to the extent of thinking maybe they were pregnant and the baby is coming out, and because they have not been told what happens during that time.
Okay.
So it's a real difficult period.
Even for them, there needs to be some awareness to understand what it is they themselves are going through. Evelyn, there's now a motion, a bill that has been proposed, and as far as early pregnancies goes, to introduce contraceptives in schools. The head teachers meeting in Mombasa have talked about it, most criticizing the same, saying, no, you don't bring these things to school, that is unacceptable. But seeing what you've seen in as far as the number of the young girls getting pregnant at that early age, would you support such a bill to have contraceptives in schools?
No, I don't think I can support that, because that is like encouraging it. That is like, it's like...
but they're doing it anyway.
Okay, they're doing it anyway, but if you say you want to introduce contraceptives and condoms, you've got condoms for the boys, I would think that is encouraging that act, because we are handling them like animals. These are people who can be talked to and changed. Information is power. So if we introduce that, stopping that, it means we have already accepted. It means the society has accepted that these sexual things, these sexual acts, have to go on in school. So the only thing you are afraid of is pregnancy. I would say, because you can avoid the pregnancy and get sick. There's HIV and AIDS, so many STDs. I really don't support it. I would rather they set as much money for sensitization to the same issue for them to change. It will be easier and cheaper to handle it.
Because you're coming from a place with the organization Rudi, usome, so you're coming after the fact it has happened. This senator, I assume she's coming from a place where she's talking about or thinking of avoiding getting to that after fact where you're dealing with go back to school after you've already gotten pregnant. I'd want to hear your thoughts as well. Do you think it is time in dealing with this problem to perhaps give those contraceptives to the students?
Well, it's a very difficult thing to think of. It's a catch-22. But as Evelyn says, really, what are we doing if we give contraceptives to our kids in school, condoms to our kids in school? What message are we passing? It is more of, we should depend more on behavior change and therefore address them, try to psycho-educate them. In psychoeducation, you are trying to mold them. You are trying to work with their thinking so that they realize. Once somebody realizes that what they are doing is not right, then they stand a good chance of stopping it altogether. But if you give them, it's like medicine, unless when you have a headache, a headache is a symptom of many things. So taking a Panadol is not a solution. The solution is on what causes that. And therefore, you need to inspect, to go for an examination, to know where that is coming from. And this is what psychoeducation does. In psychology, you are supposed to talk with the child to make sure they understand themselves, first of all. They understand their metabolism. They set objectives for their lives so that they know exactly what they want to be and how they want to achieve that. Once they have done that, then you move a step forward and help them to achieve that. And you cannot help them achieve that through giving them condoms and contraceptives.
Okay. Your thoughts on the same?
I would actually not even debate a bill of providing condoms and contraceptives to girls and boys. I would rather talk about strengthening reproductive health in primary school. Sexuality. Our sexuality has been like hidden. We actually do not, and we are being where sexuality is what makes us be. So I think I would rather have a bill in Parliament or in the Senate or in the county assemblies talking about how do we educate our young people about their reproductive, about their growing up, about the times for what and the times for what. So can you imagine your own daughters and sons with contraceptives in their pockets, your daughter going to school? I mean, it's something that I don't know who thought about it, and it's
a fellow woman.
Tell her, please.
Yeah.
Let her think critically of what root cause.
Okay.
Maybe what wasichana warudi shule, or what we are doing, because the psychoeducation is going to deal with both girls and boys. I would even say the reproductive health education needs to even start from standard 4, because girls and boys are starting to think about sex, and let sex become not a myth.
Yeah, parents, I imagine, would need to get more involved in breaking it down, demystifying it. Ladies, our time is up, but finally, challenges are numerous and varied in as far as the girl child goes. But what would you say it takes for a girl growing up in this harsh African environment? What does it still take for her to make it? We had Lupita say, as she received her Oscar award, your dreams are valid. And for every girl, no matter where she is in Kenya and beyond, her dreams are valid. So despite the harsh conditions and challenges many may face, and that you're trying to bring to fore and deal and handle as well, what would it take, in your opinion, to make sure they still realize their dreams?
Oh, well, it's still just bringing back their self-worth, because by the time they are getting wayward, it's like they've lost this kind of confidence, and they feel like they're so inferior. So just bringing back their self-worth.
All right.
Yeah.
Finally, upping the self-esteem and mentorship, really.
True.
Because mentorship, they have to see us there. They have to see people like you to know what you went through and how you got to where you are, so that they can know that they can make it.
All right.
Yes.
And finally,
for me, self-confidence.
Yeah.
Self-confidence and helping the girl child to really realize our worthy, and parents really empowering their children and affirming them, telling them, like, you look good, you are beautiful, you are intelligent,
yes,
you can do what boys can do. So I think if parents, teachers, and us and young women like you, making sure maybe you go to schools, them seeing you,
to encourage them.
You encourage them. I mean, a lot of women now seeing Lupita really are saying, yes, everything is possible.
It's possible. So very well said.
Yeah.
And best way to end up, because as you said, it definitely takes more than one hand to solve this problem. So concerted efforts by all, from parents to leaders like yourselves, as you run your organization, to the whole entire community to come together. Thank you all for joining us. Evelyn Ogendo, who's founder, Rudi, Usome, and really they should go back to school. Nazi Kibwana, who's First Lady Makueni County and also an advocate of girl child issues, as well as the Deputy Governor Makueni County, Adelina Ndeto. We appreciate you for being with us and keep up the good job. And thank you for joining us this morning on the show. It has been a great time, last 3 hours with you today. We'll see you again tomorrow, Thursday. Kenya at 50 conversations will be happening and more. So don't miss out on that. Have a lovely day and God bless you.